Hey guys, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about me showing you guys how I do my eyebrows. I'm not saying this is the right way. I'm not saying this is like perfect. I'm not saying my eyebrows are even good, but one of you guys requested it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So without further ado, I don't want to make there's lipstick on my teeth. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right into the video. Okay, so I mainly use two products for my brows. The main one being the Dipbrow pomade, obviously. The shade that I have is in medium brown. The previous shade that I had was in chocolate, and that one, girl, was not my shade, like, at all. I don't know why nobody told me. It's just more of a red brown. This one's more of a true brown shade. Nobody told me that my eyebrows were looking a little bit funky, but it's okay, it's whatever. I'm over it. Yeah, this one I got not even like 6 months ago, and I'm already pretty far gone. Like, I don't know why I feel like this one compared to the first Dipbrow that I bought, it has just gone like so quickly, but it's okay. And then the second product that I use to set my brows with is the e.l.f. clear mascara. Okay, so moving on to brushes, I use this one all the time. So I just use a brush like this. This one is from e.l.f. and then the next brush that I use from e.l.f. is this one. This one is called the small angled brush, and it looks like this. And this one I obviously use to fill in my brows. And then I used to use a brush like this. This one is shorter and a little bit more dense, so I feel like sometimes it fills in my brows a little bit quicker. And then I just use a spoolie to brush out my eyebrows. And then these I just take every time I go to Sephora. I always like put a little handful in my purse. Now when I clean up my brows with concealer, I used to use a brush like this, which was more square, and the hairs were really short. But I recently switched over to using a brush like this. I'm pretty sure this is a brush for like lipstick and stuff, but I like this one a little bit more. So now that I told you guys about the products that I use on my brows, let's just go ahead and... Okay, so the first thing I do is I brush my eyebrow hair, and I brush this front section straight up. As you guys can see, like just straight up. And then starting from about here, I like to brush them to the side and then kind of downwards. And then I do the same exact thing on this side. So brush the front piece like upward and then start brushing them to the side like this way. And then right here I'll brush downwards. So that's just how I brush my brows. I don't know. So now going in with the actual product, I'm going to be using this brush like I previously mentioned, and I'm only going to dip a little bit into the Dipbrow. You don't want to dip too hard in there because you're going to get too much product and then your eyebrows are going to look really funky. Now what I like to do is I like to start about here. I don't like to start directly where my eyebrow starts because it's just going to look way too harsh. So you want to start about here, and then for whatever reason I like sculpting the top first, and I'm not putting too much pressure because if you put too much pressure, you're gonna release a lot of that product and the brow's just gonna look really fucked up. So try to do it kind of light-handed. And then when I get to my arch, you can kind of see that I'm just angling it downwards. I'm no longer going like this, because if you go like that, your brows are gonna look like, I don't know, like upside down C's or something. So then repeat the same process. Don't start all the way in the front. Kind of start like right here. You want to make sure that your end, like this part right here, is the darkest, and then up here is the lightest. You obviously don't want this to be the darkest. So I'm just gonna go in. I kind of like make like a mad face sometimes, and then that way I can fill in my brow a little bit quicker. Okay, now you want to make sure you have a little bit of product only, and then you're going to start coming. This is what I do, keep in mind, like this is not the right way to do it. I'm just showing you guys how I do it. But once I'm done filling in the outer spots of my eyebrow, whatever's left on the brush, I like to kind of go ahead and do the line right there. Now use your spoolie that you stole from Sephora and kind of start brushing away the lines that you made. If that makes any sense, kind of like start blending it. But notice how I'm only going upwards. I'm not going like this. I'm only going upwards because I don't want to bring any product from the outer portion of my brow to the front. It's going to make it way too dark. So kind of like I said, brush up. And then I try to get rid of like the harsh line that I made. Then once you've brushed the front portion of your brow, you can go ahead and kind of blend the rest of your brows. Alright, so I forgot to mention concealer, but I do use concealer. I just use whatever concealer I am using at the moment. And since mine is like this, I just go ahead and twirl a little bit. And I like to make sure that I have a baby wipe or like a makeup wipe or whatever, just something that you can clean the brush off, because I'll show you guys why. But I'll make sure that the brush is clean, so I'll go ahead and just like run it along there so we good. And then I always start at the front on the bottom of my brow. I don't know why, I just always do. And I kind of, you don't want to get super close to your brow as soon as you start putting concealer because you might fuck up. So you kind of want to start like lower. So as you can see right there, like I'm not anywhere close to my brow hair because you might accidentally fuck up, like I said. And then I'll just gradually start brushing. Excuse it, pimple, by the way. I'll gradually start getting closer to the hair. And I kind of, sometimes I raise my brows just so that it helps me. Yeah, I kind of just trace my eyebrow. I don't know, there's really nothing to it. And I just want to mention that you can use a concealer that's a little bit lighter than like your foundation or whatever, but be mindful that it's not too light, because I've seen some people go really crazy and they legit have like just white streaks around their eyebrow and it doesn't look good. Just an FYI. But yeah. So then after I do that, before I dip back in to get more concealer, I'll clean this part off, because sometimes it'll, as you can see, it'll kind of get like brow product. And I don't want to go ahead and dip back in there and then make a big smear, if that makes any sense. But I like to just always make sure that I'm cleaning off my brush. That way I'm not bringing like nasty concealer here. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the top. I start at the front of my brow and then work my way towards the end. And like I said, sometimes like lifting my brow helps. Just slightly. You don't want to go like crazy, because otherwise you're going to end up with like a differently shaped brow. In the front, I kind of just do a line, like a straight line, as you guys can kind of tell. And then before I dip back into the concealer, I'm going to clean off the brush and then dip back in. And then right here, I'm just going to angle the brush to the floor like this and then kind of go downward. And then right here, I kind of just clean that off, but that's how I create my little arch, you guys. I just literally come here, angle the brush downward, and then clean off the little tail. So then that's this eyebrow done. That's actually a bit too long. Okay, so the last step for my eyebrows, guys, is to take the clear mascara. Just to set this step is optional. My eyebrows don't really move around too much, but I feel more secure when I do this step. But if your eyebrows are crazy and they're always like constantly moving, this would be a good idea for you, sister. So, sister, okay, that's literally it, and we're done. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, or requests, please leave them down in the comments below. I will see you guys in the next video. I was gonna say tomorrow, but I can't promise you that I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.